And a good Friday afternoon, everyone, and we welcome you courtside here in San Bernardino, California at the Pierce Sports Center for our second match of day one of our second weekend of the 2022 National Volleyball Association regular season. And it's another good one you can certainly circle on your calendars, the unbeaten Texas Tyrants taking on the OC Stunners. Ira Thor joined alongside Nick England, and a lot of storylines in this one. Two teams that obviously have a lot of expectations. The Tyrants had a solid opening weekend. They have pretty much their entire lineup returning from the first weekend of the season. Meanwhile, not only do the Stunners have some additions from last year's team returning from overseas,
Yep.
we have a brand new head coach, and we know him very well.
That we do. Making his NVA debut, not on this desk, Matt Prosser. I gotta say, you're next though, Ira, because I've done my duties playing, coming back on the desk. He's done his duties coaching now, coming back to the desk. So what's up? Are you gonna be the next R1? Are we gonna see you on the upstand, just making those calls?
Give me an expansion team. Give me my own expansion team.
Oh, we're gonna see you owning a team. Got it.
That's what we gotta do right here. But Matt, the call was made. And he has stepped to the sidelines, and we got to mic him up during the match. I mean, that's going to be coming for our match this week, and Matt's going to be mic'd up on the sideline. But now we're going to take the pressure off him and allow him to coach an OC Stunners team that they went 1-1 in the first weekend of the year. Actually fell in 4 sets to New Jersey Freedom, and they were victorious against the Seattle Sasquatch. Meanwhile, for the Texas Tyrants, they had no problems with the LA Blaze, but they almost fell to the Chicago Untouchables. 15-13 in the 5th set of that matchup. They prevailed 3-2. So Tyrants, a team that I'm very high on personally. I think they're one of the most talented all-around teams in the league. Now, this is a statement for them today as well. Are they as good as we believe they are?
Yeah, and my big question mark here, so I think that both of these teams, obviously, they're extraordinarily, these are two of the best teams in the league. But we have seen, I think the outside duo, you look at Langlois and Grasso on the side of the Tyrants, and on the other side of the net for the Stunners. It's incredible to see that Joey Jarvis isn't starting because Matt Hilling and Corey Chavers are on the court. To have that as your 3 outside hitter options is unfathomable, honestly. That is incredible to see all 3 of those guys. So I think that's kind of a staple here. Oh, sorry, Joey Jarvis is making it. Matt Hilling plays right side here. Okay.
Interesting.
So they're getting
the
maximized.
Choices Matt Prosser is making here.
Yep. And so they're starting Matt Hilling over Dylan Emery as well as Jair Santiago. But once again, how do you get the most out of the guys on the squad? Now we see Nick West and Shane Beamer making their starts. Again, I think that's the X factor here, though. I'm not looking to how the outsides play here. I'm looking to the contributors in the middle and the right side. Tim Johnson, someone that swings with a ton of authority, but at times can get a little streaky. Matt Hilling's one of those guys. He's been there before. He's played in leagues all over the world. So as long as the team is kind of making their moves, I'm pretty high on Matt Hilling in that matchup, but we'll see what Tim Johnson can do. But I think the biggest one to watch, Austin Lovett, Brian the Money Maker Mountie in the middle for the Tyrants against Wes and Shane Beamer. If these teams can run the middles early, that's where the difference could be made and decide this match.
Let's give you your full lineups for this one. The OC Stunners, of course, your defending NVA champions. Shane Beamer, number 3, is one of the middles, joined in the middle by number 9, Nick West. Corey Chaver, number 6, one of the outsides. Joey Jarvis, number 7, is your second outside with Matt Hilling on the right side, number 18. Randy Ramirez will set. He's number 27, and the libero is Dylan Shigakawa, number 25. For Texas, Jose Malero. He is your libero. He will be all over the place wearing number 1 for the Tyrants. Austin Lovett, one of the middles, wearing number 22. Ryan Mountie wearing number 15 is your other middle. Jake Langlois is one of the best players in the NVA, wearing number 10. John Luca Grasso, the team captain, wearing number 9. And on the right side will be Tim Johnson, number 17. Gabriel Quiones, number 7, is your setter. Your starting lineups on the court for this one as we are underway here. Match number 2 on the day.
Well, I don't want to say I called it to start, but there's the middle kill out of the Stunners, and then Tim Johnson missing a ball long. So we'll see how that unfolds, but
there's Langlois cross court, and he misses wide.
Stunners looking hot out the gates.
Langlois came into the day the number 5 scorer in the NVA. Of course, now Langlois has trouble with that one. What a save by Malero, and they keep it alive. Quiones lays out for that one. Malero goes outside the Johnson. Does he get the touch? He does not. And a quick 3-0 lead. Matt Prosser has never lost a point. 4-0 lead. Has never lost a point as a head coach in the NBA. The longest streak in league history to start a career. Here's Langlois with the roll. Matt Hilling's ready for it. Grasso with the dig. They'll go to Grasso from the back row. And that's dug over by a diving Ramirez. One more time, Langlois with a power tip. Misses long.
Wow, we are seeing some phenomenal rallies. Joey Jarvis hanging out on the background there on the court. And if you're hanging out with us in YouTube, be sure to go ahead and hit that like, subscribe. Make sure you're, you got any questions? Throw them in the chat. We're always checking it out. We'll be sure to answer for you guys live here. If you want to support everything NVA, go check us out on NVAUSA.com and support your favorite teams by checking out NVAUSA.shop. Also, if you want to have everything NVA just at the click of a button, be sure to check out our app stores on both Apple and Android, as we have our NVA USA app bringing you all the hottest news right at the click of your thumb. We're about to get right back underway, but fans, as always, social medias are pumping out tons of fun content, ways for you to be involved as a fan. So be sure to check out our TikTok, Instagram, and other social media platforms. Taking a breath, and over back to you, Ira.
Well, there on the right side of your screen, you see Mauro Grasso, the head coach for the Tyrants. He was not with us for the first weekend of the year. He is actually on crutches today. He has a leg injury he's dealing with. And right now the Tyrants find themselves in a world of hurt, and the timeout doesn't solve the riddle here as a net violation on the block attempt by Tim Johnson. I think they're going to make a sub. So Johnson will come out. Daniel Jacobs will come in on the right side. But the Tyrants, not the start, Nick, that they were anticipating.
Certainly not, and this is just showing why the Stunners are so good. They choke you out.
They try to run. Monty in the middle. That's blocked back. And every ball the Stunners are finding a way to get to. They've certainly had some pretty good practices under Matt Prosser leading up to the week. That can't be collected off the net, and finally on the back row smash by Grasso that sneaks through. Man, Tyrants are on the board.
That one feels like a sigh of relief, though. I don't know that feels like an earned point. That was just, you're glad that one didn't come back.
I think it's an excellent point by you. Sigh of relief, certainly what it feels like if you're Texas. Remembering how to score again. Here's Grasso, and he gets stuffed down. Triple block. Hilling helping to lead the way there alongside Nick West, who was involved, and also Corey Chaver had some mitts involved. So the Stunners are completely in control, 7-1. And here's Corey Chaver.
You talked about looking like a well-oiled machine. What really speaks to this team is they've not had Chavers and Jarvis more than a week. They've played with them twice. Same with Randy Ramirez, who's just making his return to the team as well. So
Jarvis gets the touch. Langlois couldn't resist.
I'm getting it on great news in the ear right now. Corey Chavers, much like Kaveen Vaz, has not played with them since his return. He is just showing up and doing it live, but this speaks to the level that this guy plays at. I mean, there's not many people I'd rather have on my court, regardless of if he's played with me or not.
The difference is he played with them much of last year, so they still have that familiarity, and that's going to help them quite a bit. Not as much of growing pains as you will with Vaz, but Vaz showed virtually no lack of familiarity with the Ramblers. First match today, if you missed it, Las Vegas. Wow, an impressive showing. They were all over Utah, 3-0 and wasn't particularly close.
Daniel Jacobs off the bench there, scoring a kill on the right side, getting involved early, and now an aggressive serve.
And Jacobs all the way up for the free ball. Grosso, that is blocked back by Matt Hilling, who gets the solo stuff.
Sends that back, some priority class mail off the head of Grosso. Matt Hilling showcasing how versatile of a player he is. Last year, he played the most positions of any NVA player, playing everything except for middle.
They go back to Grosso, hanging in the air, and just that moment of hesitation was able to fool the block. And Gianluca Grosso does that so well, where he's able to pause on his swing, Nick, and at the very last second, whip it through.
Yeah, his court vision is really, that's where you see that come to life. His ability to identify where there's a hole in the defense, a hole in the block, and capitalize. It's pretty impressive. Unfortunately, he's going to follow that kill up with a missed serve going long, keeping this Tyrants team down by 6. But, you know, we're early here in the first set, so not in a bad spot. Just got to find your groove and shake off a little bit of the some of the jitters, maybe.
Joey Jarvis, the Canadian, 6'4", serving away, misses wide. Jarvis, one of the players who making his debut for this year because he was over in Europe. Their season overlaps with the start of ours.
Yep, he was in, I believe, Israel. I could be wrong on that. We had a variety of players. Matt Hilling was there. Pedro Nieves, middle blocker for the LA Blaze. Josh Eisenberg just won his second back-to-back title in the Israeli League, who will be competing with Dylan Shigikawa upon his return back from being overseas. So definitely just, you know, still some more bodies. And we're also seeing Keenan Sanders for the Stunners has not yet made his return to this team as well. So there are tons of more international talents that are coming back stateside and ready to get involved with the NVA.
Joey was playing with Hapoel, club team in Jerusalem, Israel. And we'll look at Shane Bieber serving. Bieber playing middle today. And oh, that is smashed down. Ryan Mounty delivers.
That's a big swing from the man. Before the match, he comes up and says, "Hey, Nick, I want you to know the arm's feeling good."
And it looks like it's feeling pretty good and ready to swing there. Perfect set from Keonis allows him to do his thing. Still an 11-6 deficit. On the back row, Hilling reach out and stuff someone. Jank Langlois with authority.
Langlois getting back his boy Grosso after Hilling got the block on Grosso. Langlois returns the favor. Man, what a move.
He's 6'10", former national team member, showing why he's, if not the best player all around in the league, certainly in that conversation. And however, the Stunners able to fire back, tipping it over the block onto the line. Another side out, Ramirez will serve. Ramirez played his collegiate volleyball at Leeds McRae in North Carolina. Very, very good Division II program. And that's set too high that time for Mounty. And into the referee stand. And the Stunners got a couple points back now, 13-7. Valera had trouble with that one. Ooh. And it's going to be an ace here.
You know, sometimes it really is all about how much rhythm can you kind of get your team in early. And right now, the Stunners, they set a precedent very clearly on. They were all on the same page, and Tyrants trying to kind of catch up.
And Langlois has trouble with it. Slipped through this time, however, the Tyrants able to extend the play. Jarvis, that one won't go. They go back to Hilling. Grosso waiting for it. Again, the Tyrants counter. Langlois a little off balance, and Ramirez was waiting for it. And the joust laying out for that one is Keonis. Langlois another swing, and finally, off the high hands, the Tyrants able to prevail.
Man, the Stunners are making the Tyrants earn every single point right now.
Completely different look. Obviously, it helps that they have three of their biggest pieces back, because they looked like a very different team without him against New Jersey Freedom last time out. As I say that an errant set. Hilling too low for him to even send over. So a side out, 14-9. So what was pretty sizable deficit, now within 5, so Tyrants have enough talent that they can still rally here.
Certainly the case.
Off the head of a diving Malero, it's going to fall in for a point. And it's 15-9. Here's Corey Chambers. And that one too long. So Lovett will return in the middle. Here's Ryan Mounty to serve.
We saw Lovett had an impressive event number 1. See if how he's kind of feeling, how he can get involved offensively. But you want to talk about an offensive involved player, number 7, Joey Jarvis, over the top of the block. Too much heat for Langlois to handle.
So Joey Jarvis picks up another kill, and Jake Langlois was caught off guard on that one. And here's Nick West to serve.
A big server, someone that can easily create some momentum if you're not ready.
Jacobs swinging away, too long.
This is something I really love. You see a couple guys challenging, like, hey, was there a touch there? And what I really, really like about having the challenge system is if you think that there's a challenge, you can back it up. So no one takes further action on that. This isn't the time right now, down by 7, that you want to try to start, buying that point back.
Trouble with that one. Grosso's gonna have to swing from deep, able to snake it off the net. The roll, Grosso could not get a hand on it, thought he did, but our lead official, Ty Boyd, says no, that one hit the court. Ty Boyd, our referee 1. Patrick Bradley, if there ever is a challenge in this match, is our R2, will handle those duties. Rena Smith and Laura Garbarino, 2 line judges for this one. 18-10, 8-point lead as West continues to serve. Nearly an ace again. Grosso with the roll. Hilling does his thing. Matt Hilling continues to impress. His time overseas has certainly seen his game evolve. And the Tyrants, well, they right now don't look like a team that's 2-0.
You know, this is the threat that everyone doesn't. It's so hard to really understand. When you watch this OC Stunners team play, they can win in so many different ways. It's truly hard to grasp unless you're just such a fan of the team that you're watching every match they play in. It's very easy to just kind of summarize quickly like, oh, they're just good or they just win this way. And it's like, no, this team is a disciplined blocking team. They are the best serving team in the league. And every guy on the court can score effectively from where he is. You cannot hope to beat this team when they're in full firepower with an off game. So Freedom's going to enjoy the win they took in event number 1 because it's not going to come easy for anyone else from this point on.
And what was important for those first weekend wins, those were all divisional matchups. The Tyrants are members of the National Conference Central Division. Meanwhile, the defending champion Stunners, National Conference Coastal Division alongside New Jersey and Seattle. And for the Tyrants in that last match, we did as good as they are. They have a lot of firepower. Of course, Jake Langlois swinging away here, coming over from the Utah Stingers. Jose Malero was probably the best all-around player on the Matadors last year. He came over as a free agent. And a huge addition. The Tyrants really, their starting lineup is almost like an all-star team.
Yeah. Oh, it certainly is. I mean, they've grabbed the pieces, but again, when it comes down to it at the end of the day, like I said, I want to see what those guys that aren't the guys on paper, what they can do. We've seen Grosso and Langlois be longtime names. Grosso originally with the Ramblers, Langlois originally with the Stingers. We've known who that team is, but it's what can the rest of the guys do? And right now, I don't think any of it matters because the serving pressure from the Stunners is just unrelenting and too much.
Nearly a free ball, swinging away, Jacobs. And he missed it wide, but it doesn't matter. We have a net violation on Jarvis. And he raises his hand to acknowledge.
Yeah, Joey doesn't want any of his boys losing any bit of momentum, being critical about what could or could have been. He just wants to keep everyone rolling right along.
Last time these teams met was last year in the, I believe it was the quarterfinal round. The Stunners were able to prevail against the Tyrants 3-2.
Yep.
Beamer able to find some space there. Grosso going down the line, misses wide. And the Tyrants just cannot get a break here in this opening set.
Shout out to Daryl Adams in the chat, former coach of the OC Stunners last season, worked with these guys. Got to experience and work with them firsthand and see what the weapons are all about. Always love to see people that have been a part of the NVA family continuing to support. And for everyone else that hasn't already, there is an easy way to become a part of the family. Just hit that thumbs up down below. Turn on that notifications bell. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free to you, but it means the world to us.
Jonas. This one will be saved. Nice job there for the Stunners coming underneath the net to keep it alive. Oh, and there's the love hit that we saw in the first event of the season. And when I say that, it was really the opening match. The first match of the year against the Blaze, we saw in Austin Lovett that if he can continue at that pace, Nick would be one of the better middles in the league. But we saw some inconsistencies in the second match against Chicago. And it's, which version of Austin Lovett are you going to get for the Tyrants? That's going to be key to their success moving forward.
Yeah, it certainly is. And, you know, one of the big things we talked about from Event 1 moving on, and we knew that was going to be the case. Event 3 has been the one that we have all talked about quite a bit. Real quick, shout out Grosso with a massive swing. That was a much-needed ace there, bringing the deficit still to 8. It's a feeling like an insurmountable.
Right now it's about building momentum going into game 2.
Exactly.
This set has gotten away from the Tyrants, barring a monumental collapse.
Okay, I want to talk about this timeout because I'm surmising here, so I'd love to find out later if I'm right. I think this is a timeout to shut Grosso down in his entirety. They found with that one ace, 8-point lead. I don't think almost any coach is batting an eye of concern, right? You're not worried that you're going to win the match. But like you said, this is a timeout for set number 2. This is Prosser saying, no momentum started right now because in about 4 to 6 points, this set does not matter anymore other than a 1 column in the set count. So he wants to make sure to give his guys all the advantage. That's I like that heads-up call right there and just slow things down, make Grosso really think about his serve here. It's a great heads-up play.
And Matt certainly showing some cerebral abilities here as his maiden voyage here as head coach of the Stunners. Playing some mind games. See if it makes an impact here. Grosso, one of the better servers in the league. Didn't seem to impact him there at all. And there's definitely a touch there, and that is caught by our R2 Patrick Bradley.
No arguments there. That was, Grosso did his job, absolutely hammered that serve out of the timeout. But Joey Jarvis able to weather the storm and serve receive there. And a nice little comeback point side out for the Stunners. I think that was the entire intention there, keep the boys settled down.
You mentioned Daryl Adams' name, did such a great job last year leading the Stunners to the championship as Langboys puts away another kill. So absolutely nice to see, even though he's not coaching them this year, still supporting the league and, of course, the defending champion Stunners. These were his guys. Lead 22-14 as Austin Lovett will drop back to serve here. That's into the net. That's our first serve into the net so far today for either side.
Double sub coming in. This is going to be okay, here we go. Interesting. So this is going to be Matt Hilling taking hands. This is, they're going to utilize, so they've pulled Randy. So Jair's going to be able to hit a big serve, come in and play right back defense. It's going to put in, Jesus, words. Anguzola, sorry. Got a little tongue-tied there. Anguzola is going to be playing right side with Shaver. So little technical kind of tryout here, but Matt Hilling is going to have hands. Like I said, he's a very versatile player.
Here's Jair Santiago.
And there's the most versatile thing you could have seen from that was a missed serve from Santiago, but sometimes you just, roll the dice, see what happens, and Coach Prosser unafraid to do so.
We'll hand the ball here to Gabriel Quiones, former IPFW. Oh, and a big swing as Corey Chavers delivers. And we're at set point here in game 1. 9 set points possible here for the Stunners. And they'll hand the ball to Randy Ramirez.
Noah in the chat, thanks for the feedback. We are working on that as well. We hear it ourselves, so working to get the audio issues resolved as soon as possible and save your ears as much as ours. Big swing though.
And
Jacobs.
First time today we've seen him be able to swing away unopposed. So a momentary reprieve. And Jake Langlois will drop back to serve, the former BYU great. And Nick West, the kick save by Langlois, not effective, and game number 1 decisively belongs to the Stunners, 25-16. We'll take a break and we'll play with the audio as well while we're away. Come back for game 2 here in San Bernardino. And we welcome back courtside here. I'm by myself for just a moment as Nick has his headset surgically repaired as the first set decisively goes to the Stunners. They win 25-16. They hit 54% as a team in the first set, but it was the Tyrants. A lot of it was self-destruction. 29% as a team, and they only finished with 9 kills. Got to get some more production. Daniel Jacobs came off the bench and actually led the way with 3 kills. Jake Langlois and John Luca Grasso, your 2 big guns, only had 2 kills apiece, and both were hitting under 25%. The Tyrants are not going to be successful if that continues. Meanwhile, for the Stunners, got to really be pleased with, even with minimal practices, how well Corey Chavers and Joey Jarvis and company all worked well together. Again, Randy Ramirez just running a smooth offense as he came in and has help quarterback this team. But Matt Hilling certainly showing that he's capable of helping this team in so many different ways, as he started on the right side and actually finished setting in game number 1. So the teams changed sides of the court. No changes here for Texas from the team that came off the court. And we'll hand the ball to Randy Ramirez for the Stunners for Coach Matt Prosser's second set as head coach. And that one behind Jacobs. Lucky to paintbrush that one over. Nick West taking advantage. So 1-0 here. Ramirez will serve Nick West. Certainly showcasing his abilities in the middle. Laying out for that one is Ramirez coming over on one, and West gets a hand on it. Langlois will swing away. Ramirez waiting for it. And a net violation on Texas. Chalk up the winner for Corey Chavers.
Right, I think we're going to give this a go. We might still be having some audio issues, but we're going to make it work as we go. So thanks for carrying the load, Ira.
I'd much rather have you with me than, do this alone. It gets a little lonely by myself. Here's Langlois swinging away cross court, and he can't connect. And Jake Langlois is ice cold right now. A little bit of chatter between Langlois and Corey Chavers. Grasso setting up Langlois, and that's going to fall in. Miscommunication there between Joey Jarvis and the libero Dylan Chikakawa. So Gabriel Quiones probably being the most efficient player so far for Texas. He'll drop back and serve. Go outside to Hilling, dug over by Quiones. Second chance here for the Stunners, a little bit behind Hilling. This is run down by Quiones. Langlois will swing away, and Joey Jarvis waiting for it. That is blocked back. It is wide, and the Stunners off to an early lead. It's 3-1. And it looks like we are going to have our first challenge of this match. Of course, the way the challenge system works, in the first 4 sets, you have up to 3 challenges. It's use them or lose them. Of course, if you are victorious with your challenge, you get to keep it. Like the NFL, if you're wrong, you lose it. That's that. 5th set, if we get that far, which right now is not looking very promising if you're Texas, you get 1 new challenge and you lose everything that you had, as we will be making a...
Everyone's getting to see the audio resolve in real time.
Yeah, this is how it works in the real world here.
Just we say a little hello.
All right, we will no longer see Nick having his headset surgically removed from his head. All right, so they are reviewing this. Something we would like to add to the broadcast as we go along through the season is be able to kind of simulcast what the replay officials are watching courtside and have you see that at home. But until that, we're looking to see if there was a touch, I believe. And the Tyrants are sitting there watching courtside. And they seem to be pleased with the outcome, as this call will be reversed and we'll go over to the Tyrants. First time today we've seen some smiles from the Texas side.
Okay, we're back. We're gonna test it out. We're We go. And as problems are resolved, so too is the challenge, and that's going to be the Tyrants getting it correct. They were able to place that ball in. Wow. There it is.
There you see our R2 Patrick Bradley rocking that red ref shirt. And now a 3-2 set. That's saved by Ramirez. Joey Jarvis will dump it over. Here's Lovett swinging away through the block for the kill.
That's a big swing right there, and that was a great set off. Getting, not getting involved with the net there. That was, I thought he was going into the net for sure, but being very disciplined, very sound body there. So good set from him, good involvement in the middle.
Only the second time Lovett has had a chance to swing away today. He's 2 for 2. Tyrants certainly need to get him more involved, but the Stunners' service game has been able to successfully keep the Tyrants out of the system. Can't get the middles involved. So we'll take a look here at Joey Jarvis. Correction, this is Corey Chavers to serve. Oh, and Langlois, but waiting for that one was Shigakawa. Second chance for Langlois, changes direction. Hilling swinging away. On the back row, Grosso, and finally the Tyrants with an answer as he's able to elude Nick West.
Man, what? Right there, both teams just going after that. Shigakawa stepping in to dig that back quick swing from Langlois, just waiting on top of it. Great move from him, but definitely a Tyrants.
Yeah, the Stunners still don't have Josh Eisenberg, but a lot of credit to Dylan Shigakawa, has done a nice job back there playing lib for these defending champions. And that is powered through by Grosso, so ever since that challenge went their way, you start to see a bit of new energy here for the Tyrants.
Quick fun fact. Dylan Shigakawa and myself played club volleyball at UC Irvine together, where we were national champion runner-ups.
Is that his left short?
That was a few players make their way into the NVA scene, but one of the success stories right there.
Well, byproduct of the fact is that there's still very few Division I programs in the country. Most of the growth at the collegiate level has been in the Division II, and mostly, actually, quite frankly, the Division III ranks, where there's now over 125 men's volleyball programs at the smaller school level. That doesn't... Schools are. And because of that, fewer and fewer opportunities at the D1 level to showcase your skill set. 25-16, game number 1 belonged to the Stunners decisively. This has been far more competitive so far, and the Tyrants for the first time find themselves in front, 6-5. Here's Austin Lovett to serve. And missed that one badly. And speaking of collegiate volleyball, of course, they are all set for the national final. Matt Prosser, who used to be a star at Long Beach State, he is happy his squad is going to play for a national final. And they will take on Hawaii in the championship match. Hawaii was able to survive Ball State 3-2, and Long Beach State did the same against UCLA. Matt Prosser, the head coach for the Stunners, he was named to the... That will fall in for an ace here for Jacobs. That was named to the Hall of Fame at Long Beach State in 2018, I believe. Still holds the school record for blocks in a match with 16 back in 1997. Another big serve for the Tyrants. They go to Jarvis, he gets blocked back, but covered well. Jarvis again blocked back. Third chance, they want Jarvis one more time, and this time he connects. So Joey Jarvis, third time the trick, and it's 8-7 now. The Stunners find themselves trailing as Jarvis will drop back to serve. And I agree with Daryl Adams in the chat. Can't miss floaters, man. Here's Grasso. Again, that momentary pause. You would think how often he's able to execute that it would be better read by players in the NVA, but it's easy for us to say that sitting here, Nick, but not so much when you're trying to read it live.
Yeah, well, there's where a lot of the success comes from people that run that inside lob set so effectively is when he can see the cutback availability there. So Randy Ramirez wasn't able to get the form block that he wanted. Grasso saw the cutback line was good for him. So that's where that really became effective.
Shane Beamer blocked back. This is kept alive here by the Stunners. Everybody wanted Hilling, I think, made the better swing. Langlois able to stick it through. And Langlois is starting to finally clean it up after a shaky first set.
They're starting to battle and chip away. That's what it's all about. They're looking good here. Up by 3. You can see those points that they couldn't buy in the first set are now kind of coming back to them.
Off the tape. Jarvis runs this down. Here's Chavers with a change up for the kill. He did a good job, Nick, of disguising that.
Yeah, he did. The other thing is Corey Chavers is almost hitting at the top of the pin. So that guy's got every option in the world. He and Langlois are very similar in their approach lines, how high they get. And as a back row defender, you will frequently see their head and their arm kind of start to appear over your blockers. It's a little...
it's insane.
Yeah, it's a little daunting, to put it frankly.
Quite frankly, something those of us who are more casual players at this point in our lives are certainly jealous of that elevation. As Langlois, one-handed save there by Jarvis, but a free ball right into the grass. Quiones destroys it.
It's one of those things that after a ball like that, all West can do is ask through the net if you prefer that set any other way. He put that as on the net as Jacobs could hope for, no one up the block, and that is an exclamation point of a point for the Tyrants.
So an 11-8 lead here for Texas after losing game 1 badly, starting to figure things out. That is dug over after the swing by Hilling. Good dig by Jacobs. And that one never went over. That was into the net. Langlois, I don't even think touched it.
No, he you know, it's hard to tell with those, but he didn't need to. Didn't clear like you said. And there it is, answering back in brilliant fashion. Now with a 4-point lead at 12-8. Ira, this is a commanding answer, and this is exactly what we were talking about. With that timeout being called when Grasso got that big ace serve, there was a bit of fortuitous, looking down the road there that Coach Prosser did not want what's happening right now to happen right now, and here it is.
And I think we all felt that the Tyrants, they were still a little hungover, I think, from the Chicago match. I know it's been 3 weeks, but did not play well in that match at all, and certainly it felt like a repeat in game number 1, a little bit of deja vu. Too much talent on the Tyrant side to play like that for 3 full sets here against this OC Center squad, and they've been looking forward to this one for 3 weeks.
Oh, yeah. This is, I can speak frankly for the Ramblers. I know for the Stunners, Stingers, having the Stunners, Stingers, Tyrants, and Ramblers all having a little round robin this weekend. I know all 4 of those teams are ready to go after it. No touch on that. I had a great view of that.
And it's not only that, if you're Texas, you know that the ceiling is very high for what you are capable of this year. And they have probably been thinking about for the last few weeks, that is punished from the back row by Jarvis. Thinking about for the last 3 weeks about almost laying an egg in that Chicago match. And wanting to prove that, hey, that was a fluke. We know there's a lot of Tyrant fans watching this one. Certainly engaged in the chat here today, and they're excited for what their team could be this year. They lead here in game 2, trying to build upon it as that is sent over. Ramirez able to run that one down. Jarvis swings away. That's blocked back by Lovett. Laying out for that one, Malero nearly gets stepped on. Ramirez one more time. That'll come over, run down by Joey Jarvis. They go back to Corey Chavers and down the line. Finally, just too much stunning.
Too much stunning indeed, Ira. This is definitely one of those matches that every time you know, our goal with the NVA is constant growth. We never want to be stagnant from the production, the teams, everything that we're doing with the league. But man, we see these two teams going at it, and it just showcases that everyone picked up right where they left off in 2021.
Here's Langlois. Oh, sneaky, sneaky Jake Langlois with a near side cutback. It's a great job by Langlois with a last second change of direction and tucked it almost like a beach play there. Tucked it maybe 3 feet off of the net, and that's no man's land for sure. Put that on the highlight reel. Here's Hilling swinging away. Was there a touch? They say no. And I don't think the Stunners are going to challenge that one. And the Tyrants have built this up to a 5-point advantage. 15-10. As Quiones continues to serve. On the back row, punishing answer by Joey Jarvis.
That's 2 big attacks in a row that Joey Jarvis just showcases that he is the answer in these tough moments where the Stunners are trying to find that right offensive weapon and option. Have no fear. Number 7 is your man.
For Chavers, big serve. From the back row, Grasso! And he... Jarvis grabs Grasso's arm as he came under the net.
As Joey had gone under the net just the swing before on the exact same swing. A little, hey, I saw what you did there, and I can do the exact same thing. As long as the ball is down, you can go under the net.
And it falls in for the ace. Jake Langlois. Almost a look of bewilderment on his face. I think he's surprised that that one was not played. That will land it right on the line. Good spot there by the former BYU great. Goes down the line to Chavers. Here's Jarvis swinging away. Over on one, Nick West was there. And sent back by the Tyrants. Oh, Nick West, too many opportunities.
Yep, you can't, that's, you know, you send a free ball to Stunners and expect a middle swing coming right back at you. Tough situation to be in, but again, this is why it's so important that the Tyrants are playing the stellar volleyball right now. They've bought themselves a huge lead, 5-point pillow that they are just chilling on right now while, you know, they're in a good spot. They can just continue siding out, battle it back and forth, trade points, and win handily.
Here you see Nick West, 30 years old, 6'8", out of Orange, California. Played there by Chavers. And that one will go wide. Credit the kill to Shane Beamer.
I'm curious to see where the majority of the sets start going. I think the passing has been good enough that more middle involvement can occur. Now that's something that Randy Ramirez, just recently making his return to this roster, will be challenged to establish early on. But we've seen back-to-back sets in both middles, West then Beamer. I think that that's an option for them to start getting some momentum here.
Valero, tough layout to keep that one alive. And miscommunication. Finally, Langlois comes all the way from the back. And then Beamer.
Clockwork.
Too much space.
Go to the middle. You've got the best middle core in the entire league. I'm telling you, there's no reason you shouldn't be running 30, 40% of your sets through the middle.
Nick West continuing to serve. Another big one, Malero. Keeps it going. That allows Grasso to swing away.
Oh, I'd love to see that for Grasso. There's his court vision coming to fruition in true lethal form. Cuts that one back down the high line side of the block there. What a great spot for him.
And suddenly, Gianluca Grasso, who had a very sluggish start, is up to 7 kills. He's matched Chavers and Jarvis for the match high so far. As Lovett will serve.
There's
back
the pipe
row,
attack.
Chavers! Too much authority.
Chavers. You know, sometimes you don't have a back row middle, but that pipe or big attack is very, very reminiscent. And Randy Ramirez establishes his middles there, and then he brings in that pipe attack with Chavers on the backside. Jarvis has already proven it to be effective. But let's see what Tyrants do in return.
Miscommunication there. This one will barely clear the net. They go to Hilling, And Malero will send it over on one. Third chance here for the back row Chavers again.
I think that's 5 points in a row out of the middle of the Stunners. And what that means is every time they get set, every Tyrants block is figuring out, do we pull in, do we bunch block? You know, a bunch block is basically how do you cover more of the middle of your court getting together. But right now, this is a bit of the resurgence that you don't want to see if you're the Tyrants. And it's, again, I talked about how naturally the offense evolves on the side of the Stunners, right? And all of a sudden they stop going to the pin over and over. They weren't using Matt Hilling a ton on the backside. They were using him on the D-ball option more. But all of a sudden now, every set goes through the pipe, through the middle attack, and boom, like that, they flipped another switch, Animals in overdrive, and they're scoring points. Tyrants need to weather the serving run and get their guys back involved right now. They've got a 2-point lead. They're in an okay spot. But the pressure's on them if this is the pressure that we're going to see the offensive side of the Stunners putting forward.
That's some incredible England insights right there as the Tyrants call a timeout to try to slow down this Stunner comeback bid. It was a 5-point lead, now down to 2.
There's the in-system pass.
Here's Grasso. This time Corey Chavers is there. Comes over on one. And Ryan Mounty has laid out great job there by Shigakawa. Both liberos are playing at a high level right now. And then Jake Langlois from the back row with the blitz.
I love the mini games that are being played right now. So we see the pipe attack being so effective, right? We see the middles being so effective. Quinones, first option, goes to Mounty. Shane Beamer gets the block touch. So what's next? Can't let Langlois out of this one. You know, he's got to have a chance to have his say. Go to the pipe attack. Number 10, absolutely thundering through the back row.
Jake Langlois is now 6 kills again. He also had a sluggish start. We have a substitution here.
James Anderson coming in as a 6'2 sub. James Anderson and Tim Johnson returning to the court. Anderson, an Orange County native, had moved to Texas recently and joined up with this squad.
They go to Grasso. That one's not coming back. Eight kills now for Grasso, and he'll drop back to serve. And that's left short by Grasso.
You know, this is a great example where someone like Jose Malero is so valuable, in my opinion, and what makes Grasso such an important outside is those are the kind of guys you can look to and rely on to be the leaders in creating a scrappy defensive resurgence that we saw here. When hitters are not able to get clean kills and you start to wear them down, it really, really starts to make teams figure out alternative ways to play. And I think that we're kind of seeing that from both of them right now.
Jake Langlois somehow able to get a clean swing at that one. A big-time serve from Santiago off of the bench. And you saw the Tyrants playing on their back heels. Just shows how much talent that they have.
Yeah.
Where Langlois on a broken play is still able to stick that through.
Hey, you can't teach height. At the end of the day, that's a big boy up there, and he uses every bit of it.
Corey Chavers, and well executed there off the high hands. And now the Stunners still alive here in game number 2, trailing 19-21 as their setter Ramirez will step back. They go back to Langlois, and he is heating up. Blast one off of the shoulder of his counterpart, Corey Chavers. And the Tyrants up by 3. They will undo the double sub. Anderson and Johnson are out, and there'll be a serving opportunity here for Quinones to see if he can pull his team closer to the Game 2 win. And how quickly the first set is in the rearview mirror. That is blocked back. Second chance now And this time, change of direction for Chavers. Valero lays out. Oh, what a play! But the attack too long. Oh, we are going to probably have a challenge here. It was called out, however.
So she was judging, so that line judge is in on the sideline. She deemed that in. It is not her call to judge depth. So that was undeniably
good
out.
Call. Good call by you, Nick. Rena Smith, the line judge on this side, was just calling that it was in, but not.
It was in width, not length.
Yep, that's easily misconstrued there. Langlois is able to tool the block. And now, 23-20, 2 away. Jake Langlois will drop back to serve. So Jarvis with the roll. Read well by Grasso. And Jacobs misses wide.
This is one of my favorite Jake Langloises, though. You know, so much of the time, because he's played at such a high level, he's able to kind of just use his height, use his finesse, his ball control, and score effectively. I love when he gets challenged. This is when he's really playing his very best, because you see him get that little chip on his shoulder, that light in his eyes, and he just comes alive. This is some of my favorite to see him play.
Grasso again, and one more time, it's just that hesitation. You see it coming into play, and this will be set point for the Tyrants.
They are answering back beautifully.
(24-21), 3 set points here. Austin Lovett will try to cap this second set, and even this at 1 apiece. Deep float.
Oh, nice bump set.
Here's Jarvis, and this will come over off of the shoulder of Grasso. On the back row, big swing. That's going to land in the seats.
That offensive scheme was a thing of beauty. Joey Jarvis pump fake, takes ball 1. Shane Beamer running the quick route, and then Chavers over the top. If you're watching on YouTube, enjoy the fact that you have replay, because we don't yet. That was brilliant execution.
Matt Hilling serving to stay alive. Langlois, Hilling was waiting for it. And Shane Beamer, all showing the emotion. And suddenly, the Stunners have shaved off a pair of set points, and Mauro Grasso going to call a timeout to calm down his club.
Whew. Back against the wall from the Stunners, and they are fighting back. Certainly an impressive resurgence here.
Mauro Grasso does such a great job of just settling his team down. He's just got that cool personality where he's not going to let them get too bogged down by the fact that they've given up a pair of set points here. And it'll be interesting to see if they come out here. Third set point opportunity, Nick, with a little reassurance that, hey, we got this.
Yeah, it's really one of those things that it's scary. I mean, having a father-son duo like that, and anyone that's ever talked to Gianluca Grasso and how he got to where he got to be the ball control 0-2 the way he is through, I'm not being facetious, hundreds of thousands of reps. Before he got to USC and he spent time playing at OCC, that guy was just determined to learn how to rep it out. And the father-son duo, they just think synonymously.
And Jacobs buries it. And calm, cool, collected, like we said, coming out of the timeout. And the Tyrants able to prevail here in the second set, 25-23. We're even at 1 set apiece. We'll take a break. The teams have changed sides. Come back for our third set here in San Bernardino. Much more to come. Back here in San Bernardino, Ira Thorne, Nick England, and you're seeing, well, sort of what we expected. Maybe not after game one, but sort of what we expected.
I don't think anyone expected Tyrants to roll over. I think we all unexpected.
We thought this would be a competitive match that was going to go 4, maybe 5 sets.
Yeah.
And we're going to go at least 4 here, as the Tyrants, well, they certainly showed they know how to answer. Although, it got interesting down the stretch, nearly coughing up 3 set points, able to prevail 25-23 after a disastrous opening set, 25-16. They trailed by as many as 10 points in that opening game. So we'll see how the Stunners now counter as the Tyrants did their job and were able to weather the storms.
Now, a little bit, this one's for everyone out there watching on YouTube. There is a little function. It's a pair of scissors down below next to that thumbs up button. We'd love for you to smash that. It's something called the clip function. If you're not familiar with it, but you love to post some stuff on social media and share the game, help us grow the game. What you can do is clip your favorite play as you see it happen, and you're able to share it to your social medias, show everyone what you're doing, checking this out on this fine Friday afternoon, and let all your friends know that might play the sport, hey, this is what it's all about, and this is what growing the game looks like.
Kionis with a one-handed save to begin game number 3 as Jake Langlois swings away, and he's able to resolve the kill. Jake Langlois quickly now in double figures. That is his 10th kill. Gianluca Grasso is 10. Corey Chavers leads the way with 11. Nick West dug up by Molero. Langlois extends the 6'10 frame. Laying out is Grasso. Oh, what a save! What a save by Jacobs! And after all of that, the Stunners stick it through, and Jake Langlois can't believe it.
That takes a special bit of confidence from Ramirez to dump through the tallest outside hitter in the league. Whew, what a call.
What an effort, though, defensively by the Tyrants, and shout out to Daniel Jacobs, literally throwing his body across the arena.
And you know, that it's so funny in times past when Coach Grasso doesn't have a hurt ankle or leg or whatever it might be, he's notorious for catching his players, slowing them down, and helping throw them back onto the court.
Yeah, today would not be the day that Morrow should be catching anybody. Tough to watch him limping out there today. There's Grasso, reach out and stuff someone. You see the reaction, Nick West, Corey Chavers. And just blocked one of the best players in the league.
Oh, with authority. Man, we might need to take a quick timeout and replace some floorboards because Grasso put some pace on that ball. Whew.
Well, that time they read it well, and the hesitation was shut down. As that is into the net, so side out back to the Tyrants. But if you're Gianluca Grasso, and you quickly put that in your rearview mirror and forget about it. And he is, after a really rocky first set, Nick, he took over in that second game.
He certainly did, and that's what we talk about. You know, maybe he was a little slow to start, but he's just his mind game, mental fortitude is just it's up there as it can be.
And there's the answer. Ryan Mounty and Jacobs team up for the stuff.
I think this is one of the reasons I'm such a fan of this Tyrants squad is that, you know, he just every time you see one of their guys falter, within 2 points, another guy on their team is there to pick them up right away. And they feel so, they play as such a family. They all hang out all the time off the court, and it's very visible the way they play the game.
Low miscommunication there. Jacobs gets a chance to swing and then missed badly. I don't see that too often, that Joey Jarvis misfires. (5-2) so far in this one. Nick West is able to get the side out. First game, if you just tune it in, was triumphantly in the column of the Stunners. They led by as many as 10, won by 9. And then in game number 2, the Tyrants were able to answer. They led by as many as 5 before winning by 2. So this is a brand new match now as Nick West will serve away. Valero with a great pass. Jacobs swinging away, and he finds the back line.
You know, that substitution got made pretty quick, bringing in Jacobs for Tim Johnson. But Jacobs has been an absolute firecracker, and something that he does so well that's less common in traditional opposites or right side hitters, because he's a little bit smaller and undersized, his body control. He brings so much defensive prowess and helps extend the rallies, and I think that was something that the team was needing to help kind of stabilize the ship. So he's been doing a great job as the offside blocker and playing some off-hitter defense. So love to see that for him and his contributions so far.
Meanwhile, Shane Beamer chalks up another kill. He's got 4 now in 6 swings, the former UC San Diego product, who does so much for the league behind the scenes as well. Here's Grasso. That's blocked back into our living room. And side out here for Matt Hilling and company. And I got a souvenir. I'm just going to hold on to this. Nick's not letting me keep it, folks. And a ball land here at the scores table and try to take it home with me. And
yep,
Nick is protecting company property. And that is into the net.
That's one of those beautiful Mikasa volleyballs. Proud sponsor of the NVA. If you can't see many of their beautiful signs, protecting our inline cameras, protecting our challenge system. You know, just, God, great partnership after great partnership. Quality content here.
Got to protect those cameras. That's a big investment here. Adding challenge play this year as Jarvis is dug up by Grasso. Here's Jacobs, and he's able to find the angle. Hilling couldn't handle it.
And in true fashion, Jacobs is the answer on the long rally. He brings so much explosion behind that big swing that he's got. He is just so reliable for this team right now, and the absolute answer for them on the right side.
And he's hitting at a close to 50% clip since coming in. Big serve by Grasso. From the back row, swinging away, and Corey Chavers one more time. Tangled feet there with Ryan Mounty, because you just look at the distance covered by Corey Chavers on that takeoff. Almost 10 feet.
Yeah, he's almost hitting that front row. I mean, it is technically front row, but I'm just saying like a front row hitter would.
I mean, he's landing at net. It's just incredible how much distance he covers. And that is just put straight down. That set was actually behind the head of Jake Langlois and was able to change his arm motion and put it down. Just impressive IQ there.
Yep, Jake loves on that set to just chisel the ball right over the top of the block, doing it so effectively.
That one will ping pong off the top of the nylon. So 2-point deficit here for the Stunners. They'll hand the ball to Shane to see if he could beam them some points.
See what you did there. Good float, but a great pass, and Langlois.
And that clips the antenna.
Ooh. All right, we are sitting in the middle of set number 3. If you're just joining us, I'm Nick England with Ira Thor on the call. Almost called you Ira Prosser.
Would you forget?
That would have been a good one.
Well, if you combine me and Matt, I don't know what the heck you would get.
A well put together coaching, broadcasting extraordinaire
that loves beach volleyball. There is the answer there by Corey Chavers.
Corey goes right back to Jake on that.
As they will continue to have Beamer serving away here, as they've been able to tie this up 2 in a row here for the Stunners.
All right, I got to know. 9-9, third set. I want to hear in the chat, how do we think this is going to go? I want everyone to spam and chat what team you're taking it. How does this look? And Ira, I got to know, what's your take? How do you think this one's going to go?
Right now, I've seen Texas, as you see Jake Langlois 60 through the block. When you were able to withstand a terrible, and it was a terrible performance in game number 1, and kind of come back unfazed, I'm going with Texas right now. I feel as if they still have the advantage. But this is a stunner squad that knows how to win. They showed it last year. They were not the favorite to win the championship last year. And they were able to put the points together when they needed it. They always find a way to seem to do that with this roster out there.
Oh, good cover
Jarvis.
by Jarvis.
Goes a long way to cover that one as it's dumped over. Chance here for Texas now. Back to Langlois. And that is run down. Comes over on one, and Lawston Lovett makes him pay.
Oh, man, Chad is split. A lot of confidence there between everyone. Everyone's confident that this is going deep. Let's put it that way. Oh, that's going to be an
over
overpass.
On one. Jake Langlois destroys it.
We're seeing that same bit earlier I was talking about. Just that little pep in his step, that little explosion. There's a lot of chirp going through the net.
Another deep serve here by Kionis. They go back to Nick West this time. Here's Langlois off somebody's dome for the kill.
Stunners right now a little disoriented or discombobulated, trying to find the answer. And we've seen this before. They're basically going to a two-man serve receive between Shigekawa and Jarvis. Chavers stepping up. And they did this last year as well. Let him swing and minimize the amount of passing he has to do.
That's a 4-point lead for the Tyrants, trying to go 2-1. They go back to Chavers, but Grasso's waiting for it. Langlois, change of direction, and this one cannot be run down. Langlois tried to do a 180 there, couldn't tuck it through.
Shout out to Russell Fulbray in the comments there, number 8 from this Tyrant squad, unable to make the trip this weekend, but still supporting his boys. Tyrants are one of the most fan-favorited teams.
Their fan base is tremendous.
Yeah, they've been flying out from Texas to the events here. It's been incredible to see. Love to see the support.
Which is why I think one day it would be great if we could have one of these events maybe in 2023 or beyond in the Lone Star State. Would cut down on my travel time as well. Yeah. So, no, I'm not biased at all.
Yeah, they've been doing a ton. Both those squads have been doing a lot of work to grow the game out there. Dallas Tornadoes and the Texas Tyrants, there's been a lot of growth in Texas volleyball, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
Here's Langlois swinging away, and Ramirez wants another chance of that one. You heard Langlois just explode there. Finally starting to show some emotion as well.
Yeah, he gets fired up. He's always just such a smooth operator up until, hey, there it is. That ball, if you see, I don't know if the stream will catch it. That ball landed in the basket.
Things that entertain us as Hilling swings away and he gets an answer.
I don't know if the stream caught it or not, so I'm just yelling and random exclamation and joy.
Hashtag NVA trick shots.
Exactly.
Off the tape, Kionis able to read it. Here's Grasso. And he gets the kill, able to tool the block. Had to wait to see if that one would hug the line or not. As Gianluca Grasso continues to add to his kill column here in this third set now. Grasso, he and Langlois have combined for 25 kills. And a misfire there from Lovett. So 15-12, the Tyrants hanging on to a 3-point lead. We'll see what Nick West can do.
2-point
lead.
Little lag on the score there. It's okay.
I turned my head too quickly.
Yep, you were on it. I saw it.
I was so anxious to see what the score was. Couldn't wait. Here's Nick West. Grasso.
Ooh, nice cover.
Jarvis was there. Jarvis swinging away. And that caught somebody's scalp. And it's a 1-point game, 15-14. Joey Jarvis, you were talking about, the pin. His hand is literally at the top of that antenna. What's that, 11 feet maybe?
Yeah, he's certainly flying. He was one of those guys that, he had struggled being in Canada. There was with the lockdown during COVID. He wasn't in the shape that he wanted to be in. And right after the 2021 season, he put in a ton of work, and he is looking fresh.
Oh, he looks tremendous shape right now. Jacobs, reach out and stop someone. Oh, the off-season work showcased there as Jarvis with a terminating block.
Hey, if you needed an example of something to try clipping, there's a great example to try those scissors down below. Clip that. And there's a little talk about how good Joey Jarvis is, and then one-on-one does it at the very best.
I couldn't jump that high if you put me on a trampoline.
Ooh, there it is.
Grasso able to connect for the kill. And after the Stunners rally, the tied at 15. 16-15, the Tyrants clutching a 1-point lead. We've reached our technical timeout here in game number 3. We'll take a break and be back with you for more here in Southern California. Back here courtside after our timeout, Ira Thor joined alongside Nick England. Our director today for this one is Josh Nels, making his debut with us, and happy to have him and the entire team along for this ride. Our second match today. Stick with us because we have 2 more later today. Our third match. Well, this is a battle of the expansion teams. That'll be 3 p.m. Pacific when the Seattle Sasquatch, the Colorado Kraken, they will tangle for the first time. Somebody will win for the first time in the NVA.
This morning started with someone was going to take their first loss. That one will be someone earning their first win. I love to see it.
And there's Joey Jarvis continuing to jump out of the gym. Yet another kill for him. So here will be Hilling to serve. And that's left well short. So the point goes back to the boys in the multicolored uniforms. I'll tell you what, I've completely changed my opinion.
The 180s happened? It snuck up on you?
It's amazing how they've grown on me. The first,
hey, like some tiger stripes, they crept up on you.
I just think I needed time, right? As that one, Jarvis swinging behind his head. Trying to pull a Jake Langlois there. And sends that one too deep. Yeah, no.
Irvin Ingapet, someone that made that swing famous.
You know your international history here, my friend.
It's far more limited. I've got a lot of friends that like to make fun of me for how limited my knowledge is. So I keep it very, very high level. My knowledge is all invested in knowing what these guys do day in and day out. Take a lot of pride in following what all of the NVA guys do, all season long. There's so many guys that, especially like these Stunners, Ramblers, Tyrants doesn't have too many international guys, but you just see these guys where they are all over the world, and it's so great to see the league just so represented everywhere.
Want to know their blood type? Ask Nick. He's got you covered.
Yep. Don't worry. I got you covered. These guys are never going to go down, be injured, and you won't have to worry.
Matt Prosser looking our way. I don't know if he enjoys being on the sideline more or sitting here with us courtside and talking about this exciting NVA action. This is our second of 4 matches today, and Matt Prosser's squad down 2 here in this third set. 1 game apiece as Grosso's serving away, and he misses wide. Yeah, I think I am now a convert, Nick. I would like myself a Texas Tyrant uniform to take home.
If you want to know, those jerseys and many more available on NVAUSA.shop. Again, that's NVAUSA.shop. Shameless plug. Support the league, support your team, wear your favorite team gear, and watch Joey Jarvis with the one-handed digs.
And that one badly missed by Cheevers. Great effort, though, by the Stunners there defensively with the one-handed dig by Jarvis. Not only can he touch 11 feet plus, man, he gets the balls that should have hit the court. They go back to Chavers, and he answers this time. The side out will cut this to 1.
Little substitution coming in now. Jair Santiago coming in to replace Shane Beamer. This is that serving substitution that's been utilized.
Now, Beamer was able to score a few points his last time behind the service line, so we'll see how this works. For the Stunners, Jair Santiago, who's often been in that starting right side spot, and talking about a guy who covers a lot of ground. When he swings away, he swings with more power, more torque than maybe anybody in the league when he makes contact. But he left it short again.
You know, I think that it's one of those things that I have to imagine that substitution is that the upside to a Jair swing and service run getting started is worth more than a missed serve. I have to imagine that that's the trade-off that's being decided with that serving sub. That's how I would justify it, or that's what my head would be if that's what I wanted. But Tyrants say thank you for the missed serve, and then thank you.
Yeah, change of direction there as hanging in there. Grosso able to float that one to the court. Lead is 3 for the Tyrants here. So
hey, a little wake-up, pick-me-up here. And it makes you wonder, what is Coach Matt Prosser thinking at this point in the game? Mauro Grosso steering the ship, keeping his guys in order, and, no one's getting a little worried over there. No one's getting too worried over there.
Off the chest of Grosso, can't run it down as Jake Langlois nearly runs into the restroom. When you're 6'10", you cover a lot more ground.
Yeah, 3 strides and he's halfway out the door,
Takes Jose Malero.
It's his skateboard.
to cover that far. I call Malero a firecracker because he's only 5'5", at least officially on the roster, but I don't think there's any libero in the league that just brings more emotion out there when he's playing.
And he's certainly, you are dead right. He is a firecracker.
Love watching him play for sure. As Langlois serving away here, his team up by 3. Hilling gets blocked back, but Ramirez waiting for it. Hilling again. Now Malero off the ceiling, but the Tyrants cannot control.
I mean, that was a perfect dig that hit the ceiling. Just couldn't take enough off of it. A nice recycle there from Matt Hilling. Able to be covered by Ramirez. And what I mean by when I say recycle, sometimes you've got that triple block in front of you, or the set may not be right where you want it. Hit a controlled swing off of it and let your team cover you up. And live to fight another day instead of really taking a high-risk, low-reward swing. So well done there. And that's going to be a missed serve, though, that brings Anthony Robinson, number 3, one of the outside staples last year for the Tyrants together.
First time we've seen him today. Good serve here after the teams have been trading errors. Nick West thunders it through. And side out, 2-point deficit here for the Stunners. Nick West to serve, and Robinson's out.
23-21. Nick West is certainly a guy that hits a consistent, high-pace serve, so might be a good answer for the Stunners here.
And an ace! And you see the reaction from Nick West as the Stunners cut this to 1. That is their first ace of the day. Tyrants have had 3. Langlois Jacobs and Gianluca Grasso have all compiled one. That might come over on 1, saved by Kionis.
Wow, what a block by Beamer.
Grasso again, run down by Ramirez. And didn't come out cleanly, but they'll say play on. Grasso again, and this time gets the side out to give his squad set point, 24-22.
Grasso makes it so easy to be a fan of him and the rest of this Tyrants squad. Their energy, they're electrifying. Just watching them come together, fight through that rally, and get that huge point right there. They are on a scary bit of a momentum tear right now, heading into the end of this 3rd set.
James Anderson will come in here to try to close this out. Jarvis, Malero lays out. Grasso to try to end it, and Ramirez reads it well. Hilling, reach out and stuff someone. A triple block by Johnson, Grasso, and Ryan Mounty. And the Tyrants, after losing game 1 badly, have bounced back to take the next 2. They take this one 25-22, and they lead 2 sets to 1. A decisive answer by the Tyrants. Does OC and head coach Matt Prosser have an answer? Game 4 coming up next. Back courtside, game number 4 coming up here between the revived Texas Tyrants, now leading the OC Stunners 2-1. Now let's take a look at our schedule for the rest of today. Of course, this one will go at least to 4 sets, but coming up next at 3 p.m. Pacific, 2 expansion teams, the Seattle Sasquatch and the Colorado Kraken. Somebody's got to win their first match as a member of the NVA. Then, of course, at 6 p.m. today, final match of the day, and it will be the What we got at the end of the day? Oh, yeah, of course.
LA
It's Southern Exposure.
And LA
against
Blaze,
the LA Blaze. How easily we forget here. And Southern Exposure certainly has a lot of pieces back in the tank. As point number 1 here belongs to Jake Langlois and company. Of course, now with the revamped schedule in the NVA this year, you will play 2 out of 3 days, not playing all 3 days on a weekend. So, number 1, it gives you some recovery time. Plus, with 12 teams, well, can't really have 6 matches in a day. Not enough time in a day for that. As swinging away, Corey Chavers misses wide. Of course, not playing today. The Chicago Untouchables, New Jersey Freedom, and we're also not seeing the Dallas Tornadoes or the Inland Empire Matadors.
You got it. You know, we see a quick note from our resident YouTube analyst, Daryl Adams. So at the end of that set, we are down to 11 service errors for 1 ace on the side of the Stunners. So you talk about something that needs to start changing. That's a ratio. That's a very, very difficult ratio to overcome in such close matches.
Here is Chavers to serve his team down 2-1 and another service error. And you're seeing exactly what you just talked about. There's not a lot of return on investment.
Nope. And something you normally talk about is 1 ace for every error and a half. Reason being is that basically speaks to if you're serving tough enough to get an ace, then you're rewarded for all of the non-ace serves that warrants 1.5 errors. It's kind of like a general rule of thumb. Some people feel differently. If you're USA at the last Olympics, you believe in about 0.3 ace to error ratio. That was something that riddled our national team. It was something we struggled with, but you can see it's certainly something that is talked about at all levels of the game across all different countries and pro leagues.
Here's Nick West to serve. Big swing cross court by Grosso, comes over on 1. Can the Tyrants counter? Langlois with the tip. Hilling was there. A little too tight. And Joey Jarvis couldn't do anything with it. And a side out to Texas as they hand it to Lovett. Now he has struggled with a number of service errors. His last, I think, 2 attempts have all been to the net. We'll see if he can clean it up here. Off balance, run down by the Stunners. Hilling sends it over. Kionis, nice back set, and Jacobs, annihilation.
What a back set. I talked about it earlier. Gabo Quinones, the control on how many tight passes, how he gets that inside shoulder to the net just so, and still delivers a nice, square, clean set. Does it there, and Jacobs is the cannon bringing that artillery point home.
It was so well disguised that the block just couldn't even be a factor on that. As Jacobs certainly has ignited. That comes over on 1. And Beamer able to get the result.
Man, it feels like the tides have turned. If we were able to rewind it back an hour and 20 minutes ago, what we were talking about, it was how relentless the defense of the Stunners was. They felt like they could do no wrong. And now, even in losing that point, the Tyrants just feel like they can do no wrong on defense. You see back there, Lovett just throwing a hand out, 1 punch here, 1 punch there, and gets the point or gets the ball up. You know, it's tough to play against.
Sometimes teams leave it all out there on the court in 1 set. That's what we're seeing so far from the Stunners. Langlois, Hilling was waiting for it. Chavers with almost a backhand type save there, able to find the court. And yet another kill for him. He's got 16, that's a match high. Actually now 17 kills by Chavers. Here's one for Ryan Mounty as he gets involved. Only his second kill of the match. They haven't gone to him too much, Nick.
No, they haven't. He was super. We saw him effective a little bit early on, but you know, now that Langlois and Grasso have kind of turned it on, they're just going to feed the beasts on the outside.
Jarvis. Malero was there for it, and Grasso able to tip it over. Run down here by the Stunners, and Jarvis will dump it over. They try to run Mountie again. Laying out for that one was Hilling, and Jarvis gets stuffed. Mountie and Keonis handling it, and Matt Hilling is going to get himself a talking to from our
Probably
official Ty Boyd for slamming the ball down.
He's been less than thrilled. His body language is very clear about it. He's isolating himself a bit. There's the yellow as a warning. Nothing happens there other than he gets that warning. If he gets another yellow, it will be a red issued to him.
And then it becomes a point.
Correct.
I know I'm correct. I know the rules.
Yep, you got it.
I've seen a couple matches over the years.
Just a few.
Just a few. Good pass there by Jarvis. They finally run Beamer, and a collision there by the Tyrants, but one more time, Ryan Mountie suddenly has gotten him involved. Austin Lovett has been more of the offensive option for the Tyrants, but when Ryan Mountie's involved, man, he can change, just the entire look at it. They cannot just rely on the pins to carry the load. That's too long.
It's always interesting because, the game right now feels like it's moving at a very fast pace. Neither team is able to really slow it down and get their in-system sets that they want to see. So it's a lot of quick sets out, people managing quick tips, jams, throws, things like that. So it looks a little sloppy, there you go, but it's going to speed up this entire point as things go. There's a quick cover, and it's just scrappy ball.
Ramirez over on 2. And the setter gets involved. The Stunners needed that, now down just 2.
It's a heck of a step close there.
Cannot let this fourth set get away from after a great start by the Stunners. The defending champions have their heels certainly being challenged here. Mountie is blocked, and that one cannot be preserved. So credit the block there. I think Corey Chavers was the one who terminated it.
Stunners starting to show some signs of life here.
As Jarvis will serve. Tries to drop this lollipop in. And Grasso, quick action. Gianluca Grasso continuing to chalk up the numbers. That is his 15th kill. He and Langlois have teamed up for better than 30 in this match. And he'll drop back to serve. Over on 2, sneaky Ramirez. Has a big serve by Grasso, and Ramirez, that's now 2 kills from the setter position. The Tyrants are going to challenge whether that the Stunners were into the net, however. So was there a blocking error? That is what will be looked at, our second challenge of this match. So Jose Malero, who was the one who initially signaled to the officials, hey, there was a violation there. He's doing the same thing here as they watch the replay courtside. Malero, see him talking to head coach Mauro Grasso. Meanwhile, there's Matt Prosser and the OC Stunners. Matt will rejoin us, I believe, for the Sasquatch match, as he coaches his first game as a head coach, first match as a head coach here in the NVA. And his squad, after a very promising game 1, the Tyrants have countered this here, and do they win the challenge?
All right. right. Well, it seems like some conclusive results. The fact that the Stunners, let's put it this way. This is the funny thing about the challenge. The Stunners know the answer. Because Randy either very clearly knew he netted on the way down or knows he didn't and is not really worried that it's going to just show.
Well, the Stunners are certainly tight-lipped here, and, well, nothing conclusive can be determined, so the challenge is lost by the Tyrants. They're 1-1 so far in challenges today. Matt Prosser still has not tried to challenge a play in his professional coaching career. And Shane Beamer will serve. 1 point lead for Texas. Jake Langlois missing wide.
That's a scary one. Whenever someone passes to zone 3 and 4 coming across the court, it's kind of a nightmare to block against because that middle and the outside get overloaded and stacked on top of each other. And both sets come out very fast, so it's really hard to block against. Unfortunately, there was some miscommunication on who was in what hitting lanes there, so that kind of bails the Stunners out, and they're happy to take that point away.
They set Ryan Mounty, and he is shut down. Corey Chavers.
Mounty accidentally punched that one into the face of a covering Quinones on the ground. Real icing on the cake there.
Friendly fire at its best. And the lead back to the Stunners now for the first time in this set. 10-9. Valero.
Ooh, great pass.
This will allow Langlois to swing away and get stuffed by Nick West.
Wow.
It was a well-played serve receive that allowed them to run Jake Langlois, but West was ready to close it out.
Heading into this fourth set, both of the teams were passing almost identically at a 69% for the Tyrants and a 71% for the Stunners. For general reference, you hope that your liberos are passing at about an 80-ish%. You know, everyone always has, I do my best to give varying ranges because every team has different expectations. What a dig by Beamer.
Here's Corey Chavers, and he leaves it short. And we've seen that a few times in this match where a team will make a great defensive play only to see their offense let them down.
Yeah, certainly the case.
And we'll see. Shane Beamer said something coming off the court
coming off, he was yelling that he can be a libero too with his dig that he got there.
Be a very large libero, that's for sure. Chavers tries to tool the block. That comes back here. Nick West ducks and covers, and Corey Chavers delivers the fire.
He slips. I hope he's all good.
I thought he intentionally ducked and covered. Did he
No,
slip there?
He slipped on approach line. And no Kevin Gear on the bench today. Kevin, I assume, will be back later this weekend. So no substitutions there. That would be Dylan Emery coming in to show you what he can do in the middle. So glad to see West is all okay.
And an ace. First ace for the Stunners.
We talked about the importance
Ramirez
of
lays it in.
mitigating some of those errors and bringing in some of those aces, and there it is in true fashion. Little bit of a lead now opening up. See if the Stunners get a little more loosey-goosey. When they're behind, they are getting a little uptight, so see if they can utilize that.
Ace is followed by an error, so side out to the Tyrants. They find themselves down by 2, and they'll hand the ball to their setter, Gabriel Quiones. Goes deep. Tough one to read, and no chance for the Stunners. As no chance there for the Stunners libero, Dylan Shigakawa. That was over his head. Couldn't even get his hands up fast enough. And the ace, the fourth for the Tyrants. They trail by 1. On the back row, Jarvis. Malero digs it over. Here's Hilling. Malero's there again. Langlois tucks it.
Wow. Jose Malero dug that ball with his back to it, both hands over the head. Man, if you're a younger player out there and you want to know what a talented libero looks like, there's your guy. Jose Molero is just so technically sound.
And it goes to show, does not matter your height at a position such as libero. As at the time the Stunners get an answer. Molero does more with a player his size than anybody in the NVA.
Certainly, yeah, I couldn't disagree with you, or I couldn't agree with you more. I think that's a very true statement. He's, I think, realistically around 5'2", regardless of what the stat sheet says. But, man, he just moves so well. His vision is impeccable, and he just understands the game so well.
Must have got the best-looking shoes in the business. Well read by Ramirez down the line. Joey Jarvis with the stutter step, but he gets stuffed. Lovett and Langlois, the L&Ls.
You'll love to see it for Lovett. Technically sound and very well performed. Gets over with that block. The penetration is good.
So 14-all, Langlois to serve. Tyrants trying to win this 1 in 4. Looking to go to 3-0. Big time dig again for Texas. Langlois swinging. Here's West. Dug up again by Langlois. And that's blocked back. Coming over on a broken play. Somebody's got to take it. They go to Grosso. And that one will find its way through. Down the line, Grosso. And a 1-point lead for the Tyrants.
A lot of miscommunication here. Stunners are not sure what to expect on that one. Miscommunication about who Shigikawa should be going to with that second ball. Corey was expecting him going pin to pin, but that's some of those things sometimes when you haven't had the team together, long enough. That's just those little nuances that you work out in practice. So the boys just have to battle through it all live here in front of us.
Joey Jarvis, he's dug up. They'll go to Jacobs with authority down the line, but no. Jonas Lovett will set this one to his right side. Jacobs, who misses it wide, and we will play on even at 15-all.
Next point's going to warrant a technical timeout here. Jake Langlois has picked up 3 or 4 digs in the last couple plays. The block for the Tyrants proving to be very effective at slowing down the Stunners. I feel like they need to take a big, deep breath, kind of recenter themselves, and they need to slow the game down to their speed. Right now it feels a little rushed, and Tyrants are happy to play at the speed that the game is going.
Langlois has played some excellent defense. Biggest libero in the league.
Yeah.
West serving away. Molero, that will come over on one, nearly found its way to the floor. Hilling, another chance here. Beamer cannot connect. And that will send us to the technical timeout. 16-15, the Tyrants with a 1-point lead, trying to close this out in 4. And we're back here at the Pierce Sports Center. Ira Thor and Nick England courtside. Matt Prosser would join us too, but he's a little busy coaching his team. Trying to get to a 5th set as the Stunners, after taking the first game 25-16, have seen the Tyrants turn the tables, win the next two 25-23, 25-22. Love it. It's team up, one will serve. Here's Jarvis swinging away, and he misses wide. Joey Jarvis, who's been hovering around the double-figure mark for a while now, hasn't been able to get over the hump. Still sitting on 9 kills. And Matt Prosser will challenge this one on behalf of the Stunners, seeing if there was a touch.
Okay, so if I didn't see what he was talking about, but if I was a gambling man, there is no timeout, or there is no touch anywhere near this. This is being used as a strategic timeout. He is slowing the game down. He's basically determined that he's still got multiple challenges left, and so he's he's not going to be able to use those later. So he's at the point where it's like, might as well use those, save some timeouts. We're at 17-15. He's going to need those timeouts in about 7 or 8 points potentially. So get a little breather. No touch is going to be called here, but this is just game management. Matt Prosser playing the game understands it, and we talk a lot as a broadcast team what the implications are of the changes that we bring when you have the technical timeout. How do you remove it because there was a timeout before that? How do you use these challenge calls? And so seeing Matt go to the bench now as a coach, it's no surprise that this is the technique that he's using here. So this is all about the gamemanship and playing the game.
Now it's a smart play again. You mentioned you can't take them with you, and this basically gives you an extra timeout here in the 4th set. If they go to a 5th, you'll get one, and there you'll use it a little bit more strategically. But
now, the funny part is going to be after I say all of this, and there's secretly a touch somewhere that I wasn't expecting, but I'm pretty confident there isn't.
I'm confident. I'm pretty confident you're correct, Nick.
Daniel Jacobs over here with both hands like they're binoculars trying to find the touch. That's going to confirm, though, and we'll get the official call from the top. Mike Mon, our head official, will radio this down to Pat Bradley, our R2, and get a final call coming in here shortly.
The Tyrants have themselves a 2-point lead if this holds up.
Yeah, if anyone has not heard, we did our very first NVA pregame show this morning where we talked about what you could expect from these teams, what the X factors were going to be, and what you should keep an eye out for. And one of our fun segments we did at the very end was, who's going to win that match, doing our calls. All three of us, you, Matt, and I, got a call right with the Ramblers. Matt and I said Stunners here for this one, and you picked the Tyrants. You've been hot on Tyrants from day one, and so it looks like you might have the right call here. We'll have to see how this all unfolds. Oh, there's a camera shot of the screen.
That's awesome.
Showing what the players can see. So we're our camera crew getting a little creative out here.
I had not seen that earlier. Matt Hilling gets the answer. He's one of the most emotional players out there on the court. And for Hilling, he's got to be able to channel that towards, helping his team here. He just did there, and that able to cut this to 1. I'm so high on the Tyrants, you would think I'm a stockholder.
Yeah. Hey, jerseys like that in a game to follow, it's not hard to be a fan. Or have an opinion all the same. Woo, there's the big block.
And that one is stuffed down. The Stunners had to have it.
Goes the way of off Daniel Jacobs' foot. Some miscommunication on exactly what to expect there. Oh, man. You want to talk about sick jerseys, the brand new Sasquatch jerseys. They were kind of had some placeholders at event number 1. I'm just getting my first look at their new ones here. Definitely tune in next match to see that.
That was well disguised on the serve by Hilling. We're going to go here to Jarvis. Reading that one was Grasso. Jacobs. Ramirez able to run this one down. Hilling the swing away, and he left it short. And he is disgusted with himself there. A missed opportunity. Hilling, who has played internationally in Israel and got through a full season internationally.
Yeah, and he'll be heading back there next year as well, I do believe. I don't know if he's joining any other NVA guys. There's a bunch of USA guys in Israel. JT Hatch, Kyle Insing from Team USA, Josh Eisenberg, Pedro Nieves from LA Blaze, who is a member of the Puerto Rican national team, who won an Orseca Gold in 2021. So there was a variety of NVA players over there in Israel. You can expect to see a bunch more heading back as well.
18-18. And Jarvis fakes he's going to serve an underhand.
Trying to lighten the mood back up, help loosen the guys up, get them moving. He's always a pretty lighthearted guy, knows when to be intense and knows when to keep things moving for the boys.
Grosso's swinging away. Well read there by Chavers, who slugs at it. Grosso, that's blocked back. Another chance here for the Tyrants. It'll come over on one again. And his stunners have had every answer here. Great rally, probably our best rally of the match so far, is finally ended by Grosso, who gets a big hug from Jose Malero and a high five from his father.
A lot of hustle play. The outsides on both teams putting in work, but Ryan Mounty, you can see he's catching a little win there. Shane Beamer and Ryan Mounty going pin to pin, getting double blocks and triple blocks up on every swing attempt there. Pretty heroic efforts in the middle from both of those guys.
Our longest rally of the entire match. Tyrants lay lead by one. 19-18, Grosso to serve. That's going to sail off the court.
Oh, nice bump set.
Chavers to swing. Good bump set for sure. Langlois finds the court. Langlois extended all the way up to the antenna and was able to put it down over the block. And the Stunners are going to challenge whether that was in or out. Our director in the upper echelon of the arena says it looked like it was out, and we'll see if Josh Nels was correct.
Based on the reactions I'm seeing, this was not a call that guys were trying to slow the game down. This was as like that was out confidently.
Yeah, they believe this one was actually missed, and this is what replay is for.
Unfortunately, you and I have a beautiful banner representing all of our teams and proud sponsors here of the NVA.
Yeah, we can't
in front
see
of us, so
anything.
we can't see anything. Yeah, I have zero input. I'm just here to talk.
I'm looking at a sign that says untouchables. They're not even here with us today.
Nope. And I see freedom over to the side. Yeah.
They're not here either.
Nope.
Well, they are here watching the match. Some of them. Justin Beaumont, owner of the team, is here.
Yeah.
Getting himself in trouble as they are watching this courtside. Tyrants now. They're just waiting for the truth to be relayed back up.
Getting some feedback from the team here. It's looking like that's going to confidently be in. Yep,
Interesting.
There it is. All right. So maybe it was another, effort to slow it down.
Oh, I think they firmly believe that was in, Nick.
Yeah. Well, or out in that case.
Well, I think they thought it was out. I think the Tyrants. I mean, it's interesting how two teams got the same look at the same ball and have differing opinions.
Yeah, now we see Isaiah Afaji making his appearance, someone that was a setter a lot last year for the team, running a 6'2", and so he'll be replacing Gabo Quinones as a bit of a blocking substitution here, I believe.
And I was going to ask you exactly what their mindset was to make a move like that, but you explained it well. And
I'm done.
Turn Quinones, 1-point lead for the Tyrants.
So Afaji is one of those guys that in college was actually an outside hitter, and he's switched back to an outside hitter here as they've had James Anderson added to the roster. So he's not the second setter anymore, but they bring him in for that size front row, which James Anderson does not have. And no size needed when you're hitting float serves into the middle of the net. 21-19, 2-point lead here for the Tyrants. If you're a Tyrants fan, tell us in the chat how you want to see your boys finish this one off, probably at a 2-point lead at the very least. But they are well on their way to battling back a 3 straight sets win.
Mounty, your server. And sneaky Randy Ramirez as he has a little bit of a smirk back towards the Tyrants side of the court. Got him napping.
Yeah, Randy gets up. He's a smaller setter a bit in stature, but he plays very high above the net. Great little throw down there.
Langlois and Joey Jarvis couldn't bring it back, and that is a crucial kill here for the Tyrants, not allowing the Stunners to try to tie it. 22-20.
Nice swing from Langlois. He's a man of many swings. He's got a couple that he really prefers, but opens up that true line swing there. Exceptional ball from him.
And remarkable still when you consider how late in life he picked up the sport. That is blocked back. Jarvis will set up Hilling, and Hilling destroys it.
Wow, great aggressive swing into the angle from Hilling. Lovett almost gave him a freebie back trying to defend that one, but Malero made a pretty heroic effort behind him even though the ball never got there.
Great back set by Joey Jarvis. You know, Ramirez ever needs a day off. Jarvis showing he can certainly set up his teammates as they will wipe the moisture off the court. You would imagine by this point in our fourth set, the guys are a little moist. As here is Jarvis, Chavers to serve. His team trying to tie it, and one more into the lower portion of the net. And Jake Langlois will just go back to the ball bucket. Well, he was looking for one, but the bucket's empty. And Nick West I can't repeat that on the air.
I didn't hear it.
Yeah, well.
So we'll just leave that one untouched.
It's fun listening to the courtside banner. Langlois, though, leaves it short.
The battle of the untimely missed serves is underway.
Crucial serve here for Nick West, trying to tie it at 23, and he will! The tape monster! West clips the net. And a crucial time for an ace.
From the man that counts his coffee consumption by pots, not cups. Number 9 coming in clutch with a huge service ace.
His second ace. Now trying to give his team the lead, but he misses wide. And the Tyrants have one match point to work with here, leading 24-23. And the OC Stunners will use a timeout here to try to make Austin Lovett and company think about it. So as Matt Prosser and company talk about this one, Tyrants, they just need one to put the Game 1 performance completely forgotten. They have been just a well-rounded machine the last few sets, and they will bring in a substitution. Here's James Anderson. He will try to wrap this up for Mauro Grasso's squad. And he misses long. And we are all square at 24. And for the first time, at least in this match, we'll play extra points.
All right.
Effective timeout by Matt Prosser.
Well, I think this is going to be going right down the line to Grasso. Maybe attack the seam to Langlois.
Good serve by Hilling. They go to Grasso, and he finds it cross court. Laying out was Shigakawa. But a well-placed ball by Grasso, and Daniel Jacobs, who's done a nice job coming in for Tim Johnson, on the right side will try to close it out for the Tyrants.
Nice pass. Opportunity for Jarvis.
Jarvis, and that will be saved, but it was not on the proper side of the antenna. So great effort by Grasso, but the point over to the Stunners, and we will play on at 25 all.
You can see some of these guys on the sides of the Stunners right now are determined to just keep hammering balls on the outside, willing the team not to go down without a fight. I'm curious if they're able to hold on and scrap this one out. It still feels like the momentum is on the Tyrants side, but Stunners can just come back in a heartbeat.
Grasso swinging away again. Hilling lays out, but not enough. And Grasso with another big kill. And another match point coming up here for Texas. 26-25, their third match point opportunity.
This is a big opportunity right now if the Tyrants can sneak this win out after a 2-0 weekend, force the Stunners to an, unexpected 1-2. Now remember, Stunners also started slow last season, got themselves in the playoffs, and that's where the team really clicked, and they really executed the way it was expected of them.
Shavers, he misses long, and the Texas Tyrants storm all the way back. And if this stands up, will be victorious here, but I believe they're going to challenge it. Will there be a touch? Yes. Well, if you're Matt Prosser and company, why not?
Yeah, you've got to. I mean, that's where you utilize all your, you get three challenges, and that's where we talk about the importance of, we kind of critiqued the Stingers at 2-2, set one, using one that last one. This is the part of the game where you might really need them. Now, again, Tyrants' reaction, their guys this is why I love challenges. If they touched this, they would be talking very frankly as a team, all right, guys, expect this to get overturned. They're all so loose about it. That means that even if there was a touch, it was so small that they don't think it's going to get seen. Realistically, no touch at all is expected based on their reaction. They think this is all but done. So,
and I would concur with that. I didn't see a touch at all. So all this is
you've got to
extending the inevitable, but you have to. If you got it, why, especially when that could tie it up and continue the match on. Who knows? And that's why we have the challenges. Now, what it does is it does change the emotional outcome at the end of a match. That's the one thing that we're not going to see as much this year, because teams can't really celebrate until it's absolutely in the bag.
Yep.
Well, if this stands up, it'll set up tomorrow the Texas Tyrants and the Las Vegas Ramblers in a battle of 3-0 teams in our marquee match of Saturday. And that is what indeed happens as the Tyrants prevail in 4 sets, winning 16-25, 25-23, 25-22, and 27-25. They improved to 3-0, and the Stunners, the defending champions, dropped to 1-2 on the season.
All right, well, as these teams shake hands, we want to take a quick step back as we get ready for our man of the match interview. Ira's getting all sorts of ready for that. But, man, that is a heck of a nail-biter. But that is the Texas Tyrants team we've wanted to see when we talked about the potential upside and, what this team could do. And it really speaks to how well coached, how disciplined, and just how thorough that team is in terms of their preparation. Tim Johnson had the start and played no more than 6 or 7 points prior to being subbed out. Daniel Jacobs got the nod, a lot of confidence, and Jacobs comes in, absolutely influences the way the game is going to be played early on, gives these guys like Langlois and Grasso a chance to get back in the game. What I think is really so important and cannot be understated for a team like the Tyrants is the effectiveness of their block to slow down the game. The back row guys like Grasso, Malero, able to get back there, scrap, keep the play alive, and then let your big guns take their swings. Jake Langlois coming in absolutely clutch there. The big man putting up a final number, it looks like it was right around 20 kills on the match. Absolutely stellar performance from the front row and from the back row. And for obvious reasons, that's going to earn him man of the match. So Ira's going to be standing by here shortly, and we'll get it over to them. But until then, make sure you don't go anywhere. After this at 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, we're going to be right back here on NVA USA, and we're going to be having the Seattle Sasquatch, Colorado Kraken head-to-head battle of these 2 new expansion teams. Both currently winless, coming in at 0-2, so one of these teams will earn their first win in the NVA. A lot of fans for both of these squads and some represented areas typically underrepresented, so exciting to see their fan bases get involved.
But when we talk about fan bases, one of the most important things, if you want to share what your teams are all about, you want to walk around outside and share the message of the NVA, be sure to check out NVAUSA.shop. Check out some gear from your favorite teams, maybe a new hat, hoodie, something comfortable to wear, and share the message and be a volleyball ambassador. If you don't want to do it in the gear you wear, make sure to clip some of your favorite plays on YouTube. Hit that little scissors down below and put it up on your Instagram. Show your friends. This is what this league is all about. But as always, make sure to hit that thumbs up and that like, and just share the word. Be a volleyball ambassador, like I said. But in the meantime, we've got our sideline interview ready to go. We're going to throw it over to Ira. Ira, take it away.
Thanks, Nick. I'm joined alongside Jake Langlois, our man of the match, as the Texas Tyrants improved to 3-0 on the year. You guys had a very shaky first set, but were able to kind of shrug that off and play well from there.
Yeah, a lot of us got in past midnight last night. Needed a set to wake up, I guess. So the guys came out and we were a little bit flat. Turned it around in the second set, and it was just from there we went well.
Now yourself, you played so well on both ends of the ball. We're getting to, the joke on most libero in the league at 6'10", get to, but just talk about the importance of how your defense was able to kind of ignite your offense in that second and third set.
I think just like in any sport, defense leads to offense, right? Mulero came up with a couple big digs, and whenever a middle digs the ball, I think Austin dug a couple, it just fires up the team.
What about Dan Jacobs coming in? Tim Johnson had a sluggish start. And this is where it's the next man up rule. Jacobs came and really provided a nice spark to you guys.
Yeah, he's a baller. That was the first time I've ever seen him play just because I don't practice with the guys. It's really good to have two good opposites.
Now, you guys are 3-0. Las Vegas with an impressive win this morning. They're 3-0. So tomorrow, a very important match early on in the season. Two of the better teams in the league. What do you think? I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
It'll be fun. Again, serve and pass battle. Whoever plays defense the best is going to win.
Jake Langlois had nearly 20 kills today. His team victorious. 3-1 over the defending champion Stunners. Back to you, Nick.
Thanks so much, guys. Wow, what a fantastic. I always love hearing what guys like that, just what they're seeing as it unveils and unravels on the court in motion. However, we're going to take a break. We're going to be back here at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's going to be in about 45 minutes, bringing you another action-packed match. Colorado Kraken, Seattle Sasquatch. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.